Hey everybody, welcome to DIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT UK episode 49 and NXT episode 513, both broadcast on June 26, 2019. We're in week 26 of 2019. This is last week. I'm a week behind, but right after I finish this, I'm gonna watch this week's episode. So I'm finally caught up since I'm gonna be back on the road a little bit next week. I don't want to fall too far behind. Um, so yeah, I did enjoy both of these episodes. We got a couple of pretty great main events, both worth checking out. Starting with NXT UK, we opened up with Mark Andrews versus Joseph Connors. Let's see. Mark Andrews won that match. It was good, but nothing like that screamed you gotta watch this match or anything like that. Pretty pretty much the usual stuff you see from both of these guys, which is pretty solid. Dave Mastiff backstage, he approaches the Hunt, and he wants to team up with them to take on Gallus. Let's see, the Grizzled Young Vets come out and say some stuff. I forget who they're challenging for next. I think it's next week, or who's challenging them. But yeah, they're always fun to watch in the ring. I kind of zone out during their promos though, because they're all pretty much the same. The grizzled young veterans. That yeah, I kind of tune out during the promos. I mean they're good at it. It's just that it's the same. It seems like the same every time. We get a little bit of a look at Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven. Rhea says, "Do I look like a bully?" And after she's called by a bully in Piper's interviews, and then we just see clips of Rhea being a bully. It's a good job editing, team. We had Killer Kelly versus Xia Brookside. Let's see, Jenny and Jazzy tried to distract Xia by coming out during the match. They just came out there on the entrance ramp, and it did work for a moment, but Xia got through it and picked up a win there. So another great moment for Xia. Almost a great moment for her last week in that battle royal. I mean, we thought she won, but she didn't. Noam Dar versus Ligero with partway through the match. Kenny Williams came out. Of course, we saw them either last week or the week before that backstage. Dar offering to bring Kenny under his wing and all of that. So Kenny was out there. He had a chair that he was just sitting in for the most part. But as Noam was trying to, he was faking an injury to his knee. He was gesturing to Kenny to bring over the chair before the ref comes. And so he did go over there, but Kenny refused to give him the chair, pulled it back from him, and Ligero got the upper hand and got the win there. So that was some interesting stuff. I enjoy that dynamic between Kenny and Noam. And then our main event, which was about 15 to 20 minutes. I forget exactly how. I think it was about 20, a little bit less than 20 minutes. But Walter versus Travis Banks. Travis did a great job putting up a fight against Walter. Although it's all been small guys that Walter has faced so far. And they've all done, they've put up a really good fight. Every single one of them. So I'm starting to kind of question whether Walter is really that dominant. If he was super dominant, he'd be taking these guys out in less than 10 minutes. But it also is a main event. You want a nice long main event sometimes, most of the time. But yeah, there's some good stuff in this one. I like how at the Download Festival, which is where they filmed these this batch of episodes. They're just like in the middle of a field. So you have when the barriers get like knocked away and stuff, you don't see concrete floor. You see grass and stuff like that. So I mean, that gives a kind of a cool feel to it. that's different from the shows the rest of the year. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I did watch some of the UK Championship tournament from last year, which was filmed at the Download Festival, but they were just matches that were on YouTube, and I was like watching them on the road, and it was like after I've been driving all night and stuff like that. So I don't remember even noticing that kind of stuff, like the grass underneath the barriers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool that they've made this like a tradition, and now it's the NXT UK guys doing it for the most part. But it looked like there are also some of the NXT guys that went over there, like Adam Cole went over there to have NXT Championship match. Which was in a clip from this week's episode of NXT. So it is cool that they do have the main NXT guys. Some of them go over there to spice things up even more. But yeah, like they have their own thing to do, and they work these events into being tapings for the show, which is awesome. It's like every single show that they have is for the TV show, pretty much, it seems like, because I don't think they have a whole lot of house shows or anything like that, because most of their roster is doing other independent circuits around the UK, it seems like, I think. But yeah, Walter wins, and he's still the United Kingdom champion. So then let's talk. You might be wondering what there's like lots of noise in the background, kind of noise. I have a bunch of fans going and the window wide open because at some point during the day the AC stopped working, and it's working now again, or at least it was when I tried turning it on, but it's like it's such a heat deficit that I didn't want to burn it out by just having it on. Trying to get back down to 70. So it is 70 degrees outside now. So I just have some windows open and fans on, and hopefully it'll start to cool down a little bit. But anyway, that's what the fan sounding sounds are, is that they're fans. And the outdoors. On NXT episode 513, we had one match for the breakout tournament: Joaquin Wilde versus Angel Garza. Angel Garza is Humberto Carrillo's cousin, and I was pretty impressed with him. He did some cool stuff. We had an avalanche Spanish fly that was pretty sweet, and that's the main thing that I can remember from that match. But yeah. Angel Garza won after he almost lost there. There was also a thing. Which one of them? I think it was Garza who pulled off his pants, and he had his trunks underneath. So that was kind of a fun moment too. So he will advance in that breakout tournament. Then we have the Street Profits versus Forgotten Sons. Street Profits were like, hey, well, it's not supposed to be a championship match, but let's make it a championship match. So they do, but it doesn't really matter because the disqualification happens when Riker attacks one of the Street Profits. Then Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch run out to the rescue, and after this, the Forgotten Sons, go on their way. Danny and Oney, they have a hold of those championships, and then they don't give it to them back to them at first, but when they do, Danny says, "Remember, you owe us." So the ominous, I didn't do his accent or his voice or his vocal timbre or whatever at all, but that was a pretty cool moment, and I'm looking forward to see what happens there. Danny and Oney are just awesome. Next up, we had Nikos Ricos, the most ridiculous name. But I thought that this was part of the breakout tournament, but he was just there to get beaten up by Keith Lee. So Keith Lee won that match. Hopefully that guy, next time he appears on NXT TV, has a different name, because that was That name is silly. But and I apologize. There's some if it's not actually a silly name, that it has some deep meaning or anything like that. That is, that's cool. Then stick with it. I think it would grow on me in that case. But if it's just a name to be a silly name, then yes, it's silly. Then we had our main event, and I'd say the main event of the entire week: Shayna Baszler versus, or no, not of the entire week. I forget what else happened that week, because this was the previous week, not this current week. Yeah, I don't know. It was the best out of these two episodes anyway. Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai in a steel cage match. There's some kind of standard stuff from Shayna Baszler, the standard Shayna Baszler stuff that you would expect. But once things started happening with the door and all of that, with Maria Shafir and Jessamine Duke, they come out and keep the door closed when the referee is trying to keep it closed, and then Io tries to kick the door open, but it knocks all of them down and knocks that referee out. And then Maria locks the door. Well, it was just like a gate pin pole thing, whatever. But she takes the door out of the equation for a little bit. And as they're trying to attack, Shayna's out of action, so Io tries to make her escape, and Jessamine goes to climb up and fight her from inside. No, it wasn't Jessamine. It was Marina who climbs up the outside. But Candice LeRae comes out and fights her off, and then climbs to the very top and hits Jessamine Duke inside of the ring with a giant crossbody off the top of the thing. And then Io hits Shayna, who's finally recovered, with a moonsault off the top of the cage and the inside. But the fight continues. Io could have easily just jumped down, probably not jumped down, but climbed down at that point, and then she could have won. But she wanted to beat up Shayna some more. Shayna gets her in the Corafita, or what is it? Whatever her clutch move is. I think it's Kurafita. I don't remember. But anyway, it's like right on the threshold of the doors. Like Io is like halfway out. Her hands were on the ground, but that doesn't count. And she starts slamming. Well, first she's like headbutting her to get out of it, but then Shayna repositions, and they're further out over the threshold. And then Io grabs the door, starts slamming it backwards into Shayna, and it knocks Shayna out, but all of her body weight is out over the edge, and she tumbles forward out onto the ground and wins the match. She kind of doesn't even know what's going on. Marina has to fill her in afterwards and congratulate her and all that. Io is not happy. Candice is there. She's trying to help her out. Like, are you okay? And all that. And Io beats the crap out of her. She goes and grabs a chair, beats the crap out of her some more, hits a suplex through the chair, all of that. And Io, she does not need any friends, she says. She doesn't need Candice. She's lost her mind, and she's going to go kill some people now, I think. So I'm excited to see what happens next. I did like this cage match ending. That was a pretty cool way to end it. I'm sure we've seen similar things to it before. I can't think of specifics off the top of my head, but there are it's cool whenever somebody's offense backfires on them or somebody's defense backfires on them in this case. So, I did like that ending. And then the twists and the turns at the end was very cool, and I'm looking forward to see what happens next. While I'm in the mood for watching NXT shows, I'm going to jump right into the next week. I can get caught up. And what's going on this weekend? I do have to work overnight a little bit, so I'll probably be watching a whole bunch of old Survivor. I have been catching up. I'm like 2/3 of the way, or maybe halfway through Marquesas, which is the season with Boston Rob. His first season. It's season 4, or is it 5? I think it's season 4. Season 3 was Africa. But anyway, yeah, I have been watching that, and that's a good one to watch when I work overnights, because it's a good. You don't have to give your full attention, but when the challenge is on, just pop your eyes right over there, watch the challenges, all that kind of stuff. But so I won't do like a review or anything of that, but that's what I'll be watching over the next couple of days. And I'm working on Monday overnight, so the Monday episode for Raw might be delayed a little bit. I might do that on Tuesday. Might watch it on Tuesday, or it doesn't matter, whatever. So stay tuned for all of that. Stay tuned real soon for the next episode of NXT UK and NXT. I also did see Spider-Man Far From Home again today, and I do want to do an episode just about that. So stay tuned for that in the near future as well. Let me know what you thought about both of these shows and Spider-Man by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.